many chapters of smaller ones. This is a 29-page document. Though this is 29-page and this is an English translation, the history of this writing goes back even more than 2000 years. So this is even 2300 years back. Oh, that time text, this was written by one great Chinese philosopher. So this Tao Te Ching is even people refer this for their postgraduates as well. Yeah, in many cases you can browse this somehow. Sometimes you may be aware of this. So I'm looking into chapter 11. Okay, there are very nice chapters. You can read this, but I'm looking into chapter 11 here. So this is a very old text. Okay, so this is the beginning of, so you may be puzzling that how come this one has a relevancy for innovation, but anyway, I'm compelled to discuss this chapter first. So in our session today, so insight to innovation. So that's why this is insight to innovation. So I have to talk about this insight to innovation, whatever, when it comes to insight. So you have heard about only insight meditation, maybe. Vipassana bhavana and insight. So this is insight to innovation. So the bottom line of this kind of insight, if we really get, is to have little wisdom or some better understanding about innovation. So it's a kind of realization should be when it comes to insight to whatever. Okay. So in this case, I prefer to start with chapter 11. Chapter 11. We will go through together this one, okay? So this is the same translation. Disturbances. So when it comes to this translation, so I believe you all can say this. 30 spokes united around one hub to make a wheel. Okay. So this is the preparation of the background for today's sessions, really. Yeah, the background. It is the presence of the empty space that gives the function of a vehicle. Clay is molded into a vessel. It is the empty space that gives the function of a vessel. Doors and windows are chiseled out to make a room. It's the empty space in the room that gives its function. Therefore, something can be substantial while the emptiness of void is what can be utilized. So this is the English text. I hope you can translate this into Sinhalese or to Tamil language in a much better ways, but this is the translation in English, the best possible one we can find. If you can understand the original in traditional Chinese, if I'm not mistaken, should be very good. Yeah. So this is about empty space. And also this is about hub, spokes and wheel. So this is quite one way this looks like technical text, engineering text. Yeah, you can see the, because it's about the hub and the wheel and the spokes. It's mentioned about the vehicle. It's mentioned about a vessel like a ship maybe. And the doors and windows about some constructions. Yeah. So anyway, this is many places we can see it's mentioned about empty space. Yeah. So I'm highlighting it here. Emptiness of void. So I'm not going to teach about the empty space or emptiness of void, but I'm highlighting the importance of this. So no matter technical or non-technical, okay, empty space, okay, yeah. Can you see the emptiness? Can you see the emptiness? Or the empty space can you see? Let's say example, yeah, let's say example. You take a ballpoint pen, okay? It's an assemble of many parts, okay? Let's take the clip of the pen, for example, of the ballpoint pen. Yeah, we call it clip or cap, whatever, clip. So if you carefully see what's inside clip, empty. And then there is a piece, extra piece to clip the pen onto the shirt, the pocket. What you see there? Again empty. Other than the clip, if you take the other components, yeah, that other part we are holding to write, the plastic transparent tube like thing, yeah. So if you think of tube itself, yes, what's inside? If you take the carbon, that carbon stick out, if you take the tube, what's inside? Nothing. Even if you take the carbon stick, carbon core, yeah, unless it is filled with ink, what is that? Again empty. Yeah. Even the behind there is a threaded piece. If you remove it and see what's there, it's empty. If you look into the thread, yeah, it can be in the male form or female form. You can again see it's a crafting of a space. And when you write from the ballpoint pen, the ballpoint rolls and some ink comes and we can draw it. From where this ink comes, it is between a gap. What is gap? It's a space. So if you don't see the space very well in that design of the pen, you cannot design a pen. You cannot be creative enough, but you can do the outside. You can have the fancy shapes and all, but if you have no sense of the space, as a designer, if you cannot see a space, you cannot do creations. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's say morning to boil some water. Okay. You may be using a kettle or pot or jug kettle, whatever. What is that really? It is really to accommodate water. A true designer look into that space, which cannot be physically seen from the naked eyes. Space කියන එක ඇස් දෙකට පේන්නේ ඒක හිතෙන් දකින්න ඕන එක. Even a room, a good architect, he is carefully crafting a defined space. What is a room? A room, කාමරේ තියෙන ඇඳ මේස පුටු ඔක්කොම ටික අයින් කරලා දාන්න. What's there? Nothing. But there is something. That is the space. So creating a room is creating of space. And we are utilizing it. That's why while the emptiness of void is what can be utilized. Yeah, so even in a, let's say, engine, your piston cylinder. Cylinder, what is cylinder inside? Nothing but that emptiness is there to accommodate the piston. So what's the functionality there? It's the space, the emptiness is utilized for functionalities. Even if you design a water bottle, you may think the fancy shapes and some features, but the very essence of the water bottle is the space within. Is the space within. So this is the first lesson. So even design a window or door. What's important? The opening. What is the opening? Is there anything in the opening? Nothing. The emptiness is there. So anyone should be good in creativities. So he or she should see the space. So space is very important. Empty space. So even minimizing the space, empty space, you can make anything compact. What is nanotechnologies? Compact. The space makes minimum as possible. Compact. I think you have heard the story, Steve Jobs' iPod development. So he wanted to make this iPod as compact as possible. iPod Shuffle, maybe Apple iPod. So the developers, of course, Steve Jobs, he has a lot of ideas. He's very great, but under him there may be technologists, engineers, and the developers. So they developed it and brought to Steve Jobs. He felt that it is not compact enough. So what he did was he put that iPod into the fish tank and he shows the others that bubbles are coming out of the iPod. What is that? The empty space there. So he want to have quite compact product. So he needs only the performance there. For the electronic gadgets, of course, compactness is the best. Yeah, when it comes to the technologies. So they need the minimum spaces. So nanotechnology comes. And space is part of that. Example in electronics. The integrated circuits and all. Yeah, quite hairy circuits, micron in sizes. Micron means 1,000th of a milli. Even 1 milli is very small. Yeah. So that's about maintaining the gaps and all. Again, it's about the space. Even in conducting electricity or heat, again the space matters. Yeah. So space is something that everyone should see. No matter you are innovative or not, but if you see the space in engineering or non-engineering, you will be different. You can see something unseen. Not to say unseen, something should mindfully seen. Yeah. So you have to be Yeah, it should be mindfully seen when it comes to space. Understand? Yeah. So this is the first lesson, and I for this lesson, it's inspired by this chapter 11. So 2000 years ago, 2500 maybe Buddha's time, Lord Buddha's time. So he, that great philosopher, saw the importance of space. But here, our developments in Sri Lanka, one, many things are lacking because people have not to say skilled enough, but they are not that visionary enough to see the things. Yeah, same like the space, even urban design, landscapes, or even the solution for the waste management or whatever. Wherever you identify the problem, you can see that space is connected. When you outline the solutions, space can be connected. When you see the opportunities, the space can be a dimension there. It is quite nice. Yeah. So even this can have for tangible as well as for the intangible things as well. Even in mind, if your mind packed with many things and no room for thinking or for any other things, if you are too busy, you have no space. Yeah, you have no space. No space in the mind is something not very good. Yeah. So this is the first lesson, and I believe this can be a good insight for innovation somehow. Even if you see a car design, interior, all, even a chair, design for chair, what? It's about design of some surfaces, profiles, accommodating some space for its functionality. Finally, we are utilizing space. That is really important. That is really important. So, any question? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I believe you can listen to me. So you looks quite silent. Yeah, thank you very much. You also can hear. So I'm going to put. So this is my first lesson. Yeah. So I believe you can see how important the space, even in our body. If you look into the your cardio system, yes, within the heart, may not be us, but the doctors and all the maybe the biologist, they see the function of the space. Through the blood vessels, they see the function of space. So that is very important. So you cannot simply ignore the space. Even if you do refrigeration and air conditioning, evaporators, condensers, so-called components, there you see the space. So if you don't see the space there, you cannot see how the matters are accommodating and flowing there. Means you are not that deep enough. Yeah, especially for technology people. So this text is about technology. So if you have no sense of space, and still if you are teaching technology, I'm very sure there is something you need to explore more. Yeah, there are a lot of things that yet to be recognized, and there are a lot of hidden opportunities doing research and development if you are not recognizing this point. Okay, and this is a very important point for you. That's why, so I believe this is quite practical for you to look into innovations. Yeah, so design of a pin, you know what to do really. Yeah, Design of anything, design of a water bottle, not about that, even design of engine. Yeah, the best engine is yet to be invented or innovated. The best engine, not yet found. I think you know the engine efficiency is still below 30%. Yeah, the best thermodynamics processors, yet to be identified. Yeah, okay, yet to be identified. The best construction material, not yet found. Yeah, because some construction experts, they are limiting only to concrete knowledge, and that knowledge is so concrete that they cannot think without concrete. Yeah, that's how they are limited, so rigid. No space for innovations, no directives. Starting from concrete, of course, you cannot move forward. It is quite heavy. Yeah. So we have to think freely. And anyway, this is the first lesson for you. So of course, I'm quite, not to say quite, the very older compared to you young staff. So I received this knowledge quite late. Yeah. Nobody taught me, but somehow we managed to get exposed to this. So exposing this at the later ages, imagine if we can have this at our young ages, at what good levels we could have contributed. Can you imagine? That's why. The other point is the so good, the cream of the knowledge we have to get at the early stages. That is part of the training of trainers. So if somehow if we are lucky enough to get good trainers, you will get very good staffs at the young ages. But in my case, we experienced. But to get this experience reflected, it took time. So sharing also took time. That's why. So what I'm telling is time is so precious. So earlier you captured the knowledge of secrets, if you can unfold at earlier ages. Of course, you have to go beyond the books. You should be very valuable